go. I do believe we're live, so I'll say indeed and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining us again on another Conscious Evolution. A moment to think about how this is a conversation we had on the way here, that if you knew everything, you would be left to know nothing from that moment on forward, right? And there can be this part of us that gets super insecure about making mistakes, about trying to work with social relationships in a way where you're doing the right thing. You know, John went through some adventures this weekend, and his social poise was definitely put up to the test. He didn't know everything about how he was supposed to do it or what he was supposed to say, but you know more now through not knowing. It's nice having you here, Joy Vive, Shannon, Jovan, and Sam. Sending you blessings. How's Amara doing, Shan? Sorry, I missed Sangha. Amara's doing all right, Joy. She's got some allergies going on with a stuffy nose, but besides that, she's good. It's okay. No worries. We did miss you, though. Love is true. Thank you for echoing the lovins as well. How are you and the kitties doing? Love is very. I miss Sangha too. Sorry, Shan. I ended up leaving early to visit the fam. No sorries necessary. Thank you. Right. Uh, Apollithans?
Apollo, thanks.
Apollo, thanks. That's right. Lion was his name. That's the one I'm remembering at least. He mentioned, John said sorry for something. And I'm like, yeah, instead of saying sorry, say thank you instead. And then he mentioned this word, Apollo, thanks, where you thank people for allowing you to be yourself and make mistakes. Right? And I was like, yeah. Exactly. So Apollo thanks each other instead. You all miss mythology time with Sam. It's a shame, too, because Shan and I had a good time. I mean, is it a shame? I feel like it's one of those things where if we were more people, maybe you wouldn't have been able to say as much as you did, right? So maybe that's the way it was supposed to be. We're good. Fall is here. Wondering how to turn my little black one on the back porch into an inside kitty. Joy Vive has been feeding an outside cat,
Very nice.
and she's trying to adopt it basically.
Yeah, so when is it becoming an inside cat?
As soon as it steps inside, maybe you just have to like keep adding little pellets.
Make a little trail.
Exactly.
Crumb trail.
I'm Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah.
That's their name. Hansel and Gretel, the little black kitty. Mythology time. I'm sure it was hell of a time. It's okay. I hope you had a nice time with the family. Damn, Sam, really. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Sam likes going into depth. We have Kristen here too. Simon is here as well. Missed you yesterday, dear friend. Apollo, thanks. I like that. So much love. We love you and thank you for your festival sacrifice. Yeah, his festival got sacrificed, yo. You wanna tell us a bit about it, bro?
It was just very difficult. People just they took on responsibilities for themselves and then just backed it off onto my shoulders. And I didn't even know how to do most of the things I had to do. Um, it came right in the end, at least.
Right, like they stream topic again, bro. Like you didn't know. But now you know more than you did before, bro.
Like I don't mind working. I would work all festival. I just like to be informed and prepared for
Like
what I have to do.
psychologically prepare yourself for what's
Yeah.
happening.
Because the
completely
one
agree.
day the stage was like 2 hours late, and at that point it felt like it was all my fault.
The mounting pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that sense of like I don't know if it's insecurity, maybe a little bit, feeling like you're doing something wrong or you're inconveniencing other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry you had to work so hard. How did it come right? I mean, trial and error, technically, right?
Yeah. So sound things, you plug things in, you unplug everything, you start over again.
You up the game. You reduce the gain. You
'Cause-
hear them play.
Yeah, so basically the sound systems that we use have built-in amps and everything, and this sound system, which was not ours, yet we were responsible for it, used external amps, and I've never even seen one, and I had to wire the system and everything for live bands to play. Yeah, it was just
The bands were amazing though.
Yeah,
I
they
feel
were
like
really good.
I feel like the very first artist I think he was the only one who had like really trouble at first with like the bass being a little bit too heavy or something.
Yeah.
And then after that, you know, I didn't hear any other issues. So, you know, new skills unlocked. We have Duck Dad here and Nancy as well, sending you lovin's. Did you at least get to go for free? Saw you running sound. Is that one of your usual tasks?
Yes, the sound is one of my usual tasks, but usually we do the sound. So at this festival, we were not doing the sound.
They were like
was
he
not
he
our
went there
system. It was
under the
not our-
pretense that he's gonna put up lights, right? And
My
and they're
boss.
and they're UV lights, so it's like an on or off switch kind of
Yeah,
thing.
no controlling necessary or nothing. So my boss told me I'm gonna put up a few lights, and then uh, after that, I'm basically done. And then the whole weekend I had to babysit and manage the stage that he offered to manage for the event organizers.
Yeah, like for me, the biggest thing is just, you know, the fact that he did study, right? Like he actually went to university
To do all
to
of
do
these
all of the
things.
things
Yeah.
that he was expected to do, you know, not having had all of that
But
experience.
we only had the one stage to like actually actively look after,
But that
and
stage
we
was,
were 4 people,
dude,
and
yeah, that's also the
I
other
was
thing.
the only one
Doing anything.
doing it. Yeah.
Like the fact that the stage that you had to run was like the highest maintenance stage as
Yeah.
well, bro. Like the amount of carrying, because that's what happened, right? It was both a dancing stage and a stage where live bands would perform. And if a
Yeah.
live band is performing, they want like speakers facing them as well so they can hear their
The
music.
monitors and all.
Yeah, and
So
then-
we had to set up an entire system in front of the bands where they play so that nothing feeds back or anything. So then every time a band plays, we have to set up this entire system in front with the monitors and all. And when they're done and it switches over to DJs, then we need to pack up that system again. And then they use the back system for the DJs.
Maar Tani, hallo kom sê. Ja, Tani. Ons is live.
Op YouTube.
Nee, Tani, kan kom luister, is dat nie wel? It's John's grandma. Thank you, Tani. Yeah, and then not only that, right? Like it's one thing to have to set the stuff up, but then imagine you set all of that stuff up, and then they try to transform the stage back into a dance stage. So you like carry everything away, and then they want to band again, and then you have to carry everything back again, and then set.
Yeah.
The amount of headache. He was literally, you know, strapped with a headache, you know, by the Saturday night. Then reboot. Yeah, that's. I feel like rebooting is almost like one of the last options there. Usually, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if rebooting is that big of a thing with like the sound necessarily.
Yeah.
Is it as well?
Not
No,
really.
Not really. Yeah.
Turning
Usually-
it on and off again
It
doesn't
rarely
really
helps.
work.
Yeah, like there's so many moving parts. There's probably other things going wrong if something's not working.
Yeah, because there's a power chain which gives all the speakers power. Then there's a signal chain that connects all the speakers to each other and to the desk where you control the levels. So if there's one mistake anywhere, then it just cuts off the entire chain.
The whole chain,
So-
exactly. So
and
much headache.
The amp has to do with the power part because the amp supplies the power to the speakers, so they have to draw power from the speakers. So with our speakers, you just plug it in and then it works because the amps are built in. With their external amplifier, you had to like wire it into the speakers certain way and everything, and I had no idea what to do there.
Bro, it might as well be alien tech at that point, dude. It's nice to see you though, John. I really like your hat. It is a
Thank
nice
you.
one. What's written on it?
I don't know, but it's Luis's hat.
London. London, yeah.
It's Luis's hat.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and I
Like
have it.
a few times, you know, either he got spooked by one of these tussles or he thought they were gone.
Yes, because the one was like hanging around here.
It's like, which one of the tussle?
Or I think it's like insectoids in the wild
Yeah, like if Luis
attacking me.
you know, sees you again and there's one missing, bro. Joy took a road trip. She did. She went to visit some friends. Nancy says she's good. Thank you for asking. Love to you, Nancy. Thinking of all of the experience you walked away with, how much more prepared for future thingies. Proud of your hard work, dude. Yes, we are. Like we were talking about this again, you know, over and over during this weekend as well. Again, of like not knowing, and then that not knowing leading you to knowing things. And the way that he's being expected to kind of just catch up is
Mm.
the opposite of what we want to do when we start our own business kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So we're learning lessons, right? By not
Make
knowing.
sure everyone is informed of everything, you know,
Give people
and that
the
everyone's basic needs are catered for.
yeah, the basic needs mainly. Make sure people get food. That just sounds like busy work with extra steps. Pretty much birthday weekend road trip. Are we at John's house right now? At John's grandma's
Yes,
house, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
But he stays here. Most of the covers and pajamas that John did, I think, is in this room, right?
yeah. Yes.
It's nice, dude. Hope you got paid. Yeah, I think that's still probably coming, but
Yeah, I'm
you
still
you will
waiting.
get paid. Did some journey work slash play. Got to be in North Cal coast side near Mendocino. I don't know that one actually. It was good. Like when you say journey work slash play, I'm going to read into that. I'm happy that you had a good time, Nancy. I feel like my weekend, and this is usually not the way I walk back, like I walk away from a festival. I didn't have that much fun. I didn't have that much fun. But I usually do, right? Like I've been overcome with this experience of like, this is one of the most fun experiences I've had in my life. This weekend was more like coming to the conclusion, like he said over and over again as well, patience,
Yeah.
right? Being patient with yourself sometimes as well. Watching yourself,
Patience was our
our
hardest
theme.
lesson this
Yes,
weekend, the entire weekend.
no
Like
mercy.
getting out to just buy water, man, and then
Yeah,
we
like
need tags.
there was no like I'll start with that, like there was no place to drink water. Like the drinking water wasn't, was contaminated or whatever. And they were selling only water at one place, and that's the bar, for like 20 rand, which is like a dollar something. And that might sound not like too much
for a
for a
small bottle.
500 ml
Yeah.
bottle. Like a 5 liter bottle is basically the same price. I think it's like 4 rand more expensive.
Yeah.
So like 10 cents or even less, 5 cents more expensive. And then we want to go on mission to get supplies for the whole, group. And this group are the ones who kind of like sorted out the tickets. And then we get to like the space where you buy the tickets, and we're trying to get tickets so we can get
Yes,
out.
and you get the
Yeah.
passes.
So we can go out and come back. And then they couldn't find us on the list. And then we were waiting for them to connect. And we're like running errands for other people, and we're just sitting there for an hour, feeling uh like the twiddling your thumbs kind of vibe, right? Like guess we're waiting. It all worked out eventually. The patience theme kept coming back over and over again. Patience was a big theme. Self love was a big theme. Melting insecurities was a big theme as well. And then just specifically realizing the amount of inner narrative, right, can like destroy you, especially if you believe it, right? If you believe yourself to be something you're not, or like both negatively and positively, kind of vibe, right? Like I'm thinking about some of the conversations we had.
Yeah.
For instance, with that one dude, like he'll have a conversation with you having to know things that he's talking about, right? And you can only continue the conversation if you know the things that he's talking about. And he wants you to continue the conversation like you know what he's talking about. And it's like,
Yeah, it was
it was like a whole trip.
interesting.
I'm sorry this dude with Melt had a hard time. No, we're just, kind of like honoring him for his hard work. He was a big inspiration to me this weekend, just showing me the amount of grit that a person can have. Lisa's here too. Namaste to you, dear friend. Cyclone, blessings. Proud of you for handling the hecticness, John. So much lovings. So happy to hear that. Sorry you didn't have the most fun time, but I really enjoyed your special guest yesterday. It was super nice to hear from Black South Africans. I felt like it was so apt, right? Like we had Althea join us for a little bit, where she would like saw me, and then I was like, want to join, sat down, and then as soon as she left, I saw Zizile, and I love that person, right? So I had to like invite her onto stream as well. It worked out perfectly. I'm happy to have those conversations. Festivals should be fun, Melt. I know, but again,
There's a lot in the
expectations.
works as
Yeah.
well.
I feel like it depends on what you're there to do, right?
Mm.
Like
And the
what your
people
intention is.
gathering, the intention of the people
Mm.
together.
Like there were many beautiful people, but I feel like everybody was in some way or another dealing with some shit as well.
Mm.
The Kundalini yoga was nice. That still is something that I'm thinking about right now. It was so.
Parkour.
I should share this story with you, friends. Like we were walking past people doing yoga, and they're like on their arms and
Couples.
legs, so couples on their arms and legs, with another person on their arms, with their legs stacked on top of the other person. And I'm walking past it, and I'm like, this is hardcore. And then the person in the yoga pose is like, no, it's not hard. It's not parkour. It's yoga. I'm like, yeah, of course. Did you dance your heart out? That I did do. That I danced. I danced properly. I feel like I'm kind of like spent because of the amount of dancing, and I started eating sugar last night, so my body is like, sugar is definitely one of those things that I feel, as useful as it is as a fuel source,
Mm.
it feels like I'm putting diesel in a petrol car kind of vibe, dude. That's what's going through my mind right now. Yeah, yoga stack sounds so rad. It was pretty cool, to be honest. It's a season. It is season changing time. Maybe that had something to do with the mood at the festival. I feel like that definitely did, but I feel also the fact that the festival was so interconnected, global, right? Like maybe this is what I was like tripping out about. I wasn't just experiencing our festivals full fractal of feeling, but also all of the other festivals. And that's actually something John talked about a lot. How he was overwhelmed with this sudden realization that you can technically feel every other person's feelings right around you,
Mm.
and that cone can keep extending, and we usually kind of tend to spiral inwards because it's easier to try and deal with your own feelings alone than
Mm.
it is to be aware of other people's feelings as well, you know, making you feel a certain way, sometimes making it even harder for you to actually do something about it. So yeah,
Like you could pretend that it's not there.
people do, people
But
try to pretend.
mm.
Again, I'm trying to connect today's stream topic with the whole knowing everything, right? Because that's like a kind of knowing everything.
Yeah.
If you always felt every single person in the world's feelings,
Yeah.
that would also be like a knowing everything. And then what would
Because
the point be? We
if
wouldn't
you
need to
know
communicate.
everything about everyone as well.
That's so much information, dude. Imagine. Hey, we have Luke here, Mr. Merkabestic himself. We have Shell as well, sending you blessing. Hi, everyone who just arrived, sending all of you blessings. It's nice to have you. Man,
You want some flavored air?
yeah, flavored air would be nice. Thank you. We're only allowed to partake of this kind of flavored air at Grant's place, respectfully so. We also had like some nice times last night. Me and Mark. He has one of those. I don't know what you call them exactly. You hold it with your hand, and then it has like strings, and like a big drum with a flat skin.
Oh,
I don't know if you know that one.
I don't think I do.
I want to call it like a buffalo drum. Hey Google, can you show me a buffalo drum? Yeah,
Okay.
look at that. My brain knows words. One of these. That's also the back side of it. That's what it looked like from the front. And it sounds beautiful. So there was like a djembe as well. I didn't take Sky, but Mark had a djembe. And then, you know, we switched back and forth. And like I feel after playing that buffalo drum, I
Mm.
really want one right now, dude.
Yeah.
Like it has like a thumpy tone to it. And we were playing like next to the drum and bass set after all of the music got turned off, chanting a little bit. As we're playing, a dude walks past us. We weren't chanting. He just randomly starts chanting alongside us. And he looks like a dude in his 50s.
Yeah.
So Afrikaans, dude. Like wearing a t-shirt, PT shorts and pluckies. Like one of the most Afrikaans dudes I've seen there. And him just starting to chant with us, it warmed my heart, man. Are you still in Pretoria? We're in Benoni.
Yes.
It's still Gauteng area. It's close enough to Pretoria,
Yeah.
but it's not technically Pretoria. Lisa, I must have missed you coming in. Thank you, Sam, for sending lovin's. Buffalo chicken wings. When's the last time I had chicken wings, dude?
Ain't no thing but a chicken wing.
Bruh, I still feel like my brain is operating at 10%. It's like I want to be quiet, right? Like the integration thing, drum circle. I wish there was more. If there was more people playing alongside of us, it might have been even more fun. Did you guys see the video that's making the rounds of a person attacked by a seal on the beach in South Africa? No. If it's been making the rounds this weekend, I probably did not see any of it. I haven't partaken of technology like much. I've made my flowers. I made my flower this morning because I ended up staying up a little bit later dancing. We had one of the friends, Luke, play. I've already forgotten the genre's name, but like such gentle, low impact beats, and I was like tripping out the whole weekend.
Lo-fi electronic.
Yeah, lo-fi, electronic, and there was another word he added as well.
Yeah.
But during the weekend, as I was dancing to the different stages, either the music was a little bit too hardcore, or the energy around me was a little bit too hardcore for me to keep my eyes closed. Right? And I do appreciate keeping my eyes closed and just kind of like zoning out, getting into a trance state essentially. And then on that stage, I got to have that moment. And I got like so deep. I had this moment where I was keeping my eyes closed, and then that lion friend, he came and gave me a hug. He like put my forehead into his neck. And I didn't like, I had my eyes closed when I suddenly got grabbed by a person. And I get my face put into like, I could feel like the underside of his beard on my forehead. And I'm like, the fuck is happening right now? And then I get released and I get kissed on the forehead. And then I open my eyes and I see this friend. I'm like, I love you, brother bear. And, after that, I cried a little bit. The fact that this person walks up to me and chooses to share some love. And then I took a moment to love myself as well, where touch my own hair, touch my own arms, my middle, my face, and, had this moment of self-acceptance. Self-love was also a massive theme for the party. It's hard to love ourselves, bro. I wonder why. You know what? Because we don't know everything, dude. That's the reason we give ourselves, right? I made mistake, now I'm not loving myself anymore.
It's hard to love one's own flaws.
Yeah. Especially so when you feel like yesterday's stream topic was about like responsibility, right? The amount of responsibility we have towards one another, and then tripping yourself out about making a mistake within that responsibility, right? So maybe today is like a contrasting stream. I had chicken wings yesterday, brag. Brag, brag, why don't you try? I'm actually kind of like, smoking some chicken wings right now. Every time Drum Circle gets mentioned, I think of the South Park episode. I'm happy that I don't have that brain damage. Yay for drumming. What's wrong with your brain meld? It's just tired. I didn't sleep that much yesterday. Like, I think I went to bed like maybe at like 2 a.m. or something. Woke up at 7. And then also like 5 hours sleep the previous night. And the sugar. I think it's the sugar more than anything, right? Like I feel that's probably it. When your brain's on ketones, it feels very clear. And now it feels like that's the closest I could give you as to an explanation. I like Monday mornings starting quietly. I hope that this helps, dear Shell. Hope it's calm enough for you. I was this many days old when I learned there were seals in South Africa. Yeah. A bunch of them. They like it here. There's a movie
No
made
Navy
by.
SEALs though.
I mean, like I was just gonna kind of like trip out about that. There's a movie called SEAL Team.
Yeah.
That's about seals, like making a team to fight sharks or whatever. And it's a movie made by South Africa.
Oh.
And, with our kind of like perspective, our people's perspective on the seals that live on our planet, trying to imagine them through the context of friendship. I do believe they have interpersonal relationships. Have you
Yeah.
seen that video of the diver? He's like literally underwater. He has a snorkel in, and then a seal dude comes up to him and like is literally trying to pull him up to the surface. Oh, because it
Oh.
thinks he's drowning. Oh.
No, I've not
And
seen
then like, you should. That's beautiful. And then like he sees he's not managing to bring this guy up, so he goes away. Brings one of his homies, two of them, tries to bring this guy up. They fail again. They go away. They bring the whole squad, dude, like a whole family full of seals, and they're like, what? Trying to pull this guy. I was like, this guy's drowning down here. They take him out to the surface, and then after they see him breathing, air, they're like, oh wait, you can be, you can be safe now. They're like just, and connecting that whole experience to, watching that movie is also such a beautiful time. Who was the chump that decided Monday mornings begins everything? They have to be so stressful. I feel, it's one of those things where it's probably more a part of our work culture than it's just like a single person. Because technically, if you want to, you can just tell your employees that they don't work on Mondays anymore. But the amount of overhead, the amount of money lost, the amount of people willing to start doing work, you'll miss out on clients or whatever. So uh, it's very unlikely. I do hope for the 4-day work week. The joke is that if there's a 4-day work week, that means you're going to be working more.
Yes.
We're going to be working
yes,
more.
fun 4-day work weekends.
Yes, sorry. 4-day work week means this Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday is completely off.
Yeah,
So
but that's
people-
why I'm saying I'll be working 4 days then with
Exactly.
including this.
Yeah,
setting
because
up
you'll
and
start
packing up.
Thursday, maybe even start Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, I like how I've been sharing this with our friends for a long time now. I do imagine the 4-day work week because we do not need to be rushing as much as we do, and people need more time to actually spend some, be able to go somewhere, for example, and how, in contrast, there's still people going to be negatively affected by that change. We can't know everything, kind of vibe. Henry Ford? Yeah, probably Henry Ford. Here you go. I love me some chicken wings, boneless or bone, it doesn't matter, as long as there's blue cheese. That never enters the
Gonna order
equation.
some zinger wings.
Maybe we can, dude. I would actually be willing to spot us. Oh, John, if you don't work, you don't eat Smith. Like my dad believes that as well. It's like a Bible quote that he keeps repeating over and over again, and it goes, "Van die sweet van jou aangesig sal jy jou brood verdien." By sweating, you will earn your bread. And I don't necessarily disagree with it, right? But I think we have misconstrued human effort to financial gain, right? For instance, Ali this weekend, he was giving people massages, right? And like giving people a massage, that's hectic on your forearms. I could like see his forearms, like working people. I gave him a forearm massage as well before he gave mine. But he did it for like 10, 11 people, over the 2 days. And he didn't earn a single rand, right? A single dollar doing that. But is the world not a better place for him actually having helped people like that? So it's one of those things. Like he didn't earn his bread, right? He didn't earn any money, but he still was contributing to society in that way.
Yeah.
So instead of money, we should figure out purpose for people.
And I'd just like to clarify, it's not the first festival I work at. I work at every single festival, but usually it's my job to work every festival.
And you know what
In
the
this
scope is.
case, it was not. It was other people's gear and other
Like-
people's job that I had to do.
Yeah, the
without
reason
knowing.
the reason he invited me is because he knew he was gonna have like a little bit more of a chill weekend, so we'll be able to actually have a festival together, and that's kind of why we're being like, meh. We're not being mad because he doesn't want to earn his bread, kind of
Yeah.
vibe, right? It's more the perspective. And again, You wanted to know more. You wanted to know more. Like that was the only like kind of like prerequisite, and you didn't have to know everything
Yeah,
technically. You just needed to know what you needed to know.
yeah.
Perhaps, but he paid enough for them to buy the cars they made, and I wonder. I don't know, Shell. Sam, yep. I would write a book about that. If you don't work, you don't eat. Yeah, the whole earning money thing, right? Like for instance, there's a lady in China.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lady in China who got married to someone. I want to say by force, but it's not necessarily the right way to say it. Like,
Arranged.
yeah, arranged marriage, right? Like she's like, this is the dude you're marrying, and she moved from her home village, that was kind of like in the middle of like a forested area, to an actual desert. Imagine that, bro. Like, and you can't leave, or you have to be with your husband, right? Raise your kids or whatever. And then she started planting trees, right? She literally was working to earn money to buy trees to plant in that little deserted area, and she has literally reforested that desert with those efforts, right? Like, so she worked her entire life. I think something like 40 years she
Yeah.
spent reforesting that desert. She didn't earn any money doing that, but the world is an exponentially better place for that effort applied.
Also, that saying doesn't necessarily apply to everyone. Like, you get people who make vast amounts of money and doesn't need to lift a finger
Yeah,
whatsoever anymore.
exactly.
Like, maybe there was a time that they had to work to get to where they are or whatever, but it's not necessarily true for everyone.
I'm thinking about people working in the banking industry, dude, where if you get a big company to take out a massive loan, you get like percentages of that loan, bro. So you just like earn $1 million for, like signing a $200 million loan or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Like that's nice, cool. That seems very appropriate. Take people's money for the sake of taking people's money. I put work in quotation marks because there's so much unpaid labor that goes unacknowledged and unrewarded. Being a mother, right? That being a mother, the amount of work being a mother is correct, Rabbit, 100%. My knowledge of the history of Wall Street. I love how you're also going into that side of the world of Wall Street. Is that they're all landed private gentry shell. The Wolf of Wall Street kind of ruined me. You know that dude? Like, it's based on a true story.
Uh,
That dude that it was based around is still active.
yeah.
He's still scamming people, bro.
Uh,
He's still making money with the scaly stuff that he was busy with, during like the era that movie was made in. It's wild to me that we allow stuff like that sometimes. Have you watched My Octopus Teacher on Netflix? Brilliant film. I haven't. Is it new? I'm guessing so. Melton John, had you met in person before this weekend? Yes. We met at White Rabbit, the previous festival I went to. He was working there, setting up the stage.
it was like 6 months, 7 months ago.
Me and Adam went to that one together. Met him, exchanged contact deets, like the level of conversation we had during the weekend kind of confirmed that we would like to continue having conversations. So,
Yeah.
and then, like I showed him my
Ideas and
art,
works.
like, and he like riffs onto me, gives me ideas for the stuff that I want to do, and then I'll share with him, and that inspires ideas in him, and it's a good back and forth kind of vibe. We have Snow Dogs. I thought Snow Dogs is a movie. I'm so lost right now.
I also know the movie Snow Dogs.
Is it that
It was a
movie?
good movie.
Is that movie that came from like the city, went to like the Antarctic
Yes.
to work with dogs, and they had to bite one of the ears, and then he went back to his home and he like had the AC cranked.
I don't really remember that
Like,
much detail.
I'm remembering like I feel like
I
I'm looking
remember
into
the
a dream or
actor and the
something.
dogs.
Was it like a dark skinned individual? Darker
Yes.
skin? Okay, I
Yes.
think we're thinking about the same movie.
Yeah.
I want to believe it's called SEAL Team, and it's real seals, but like kitted out in full as Navy SEAL battle rattle, and they say South Africa calling in tactical whale strikes.
Tactical.
So there's like two different ways to interpret that. Is either the whales are flying over you and dropping like massive
Or they're
loads,
just
or actual whales are being struck and just like getting bombed by whales, dude. I feel like that would be pretty intimidating. You fight your enemies and they throw whales on you. It's like, why though? Why have all of the things? Save South Africa from what? Who slash killer seals? Brilliant filmed on the coast of South Africa. I need to see that video now, dude. Also, as penguins, we do. I would like to see them. We have the tiny variety of penguins. They're like this big. They're super cute. The 4-day work week would probably make me work more. You see, Dog Dad also works weekends, but my customers will grow as they have more time to buy from me and plant the garden. Exactly. Food forests, dude. That's the thing that I've been tripping out about more than anything. If we turned every single garden, like this like grass area, into like a food forest, like every single neighborhood would have more than enough food to feed everybody, bro.
yeah. But that requires everyone to do the task and do the
It
job.
is effort.
You know?
At least at first, dude. Technically, the nice thing about food forests eventually is that it becomes self-sustaining. It becomes like a little ecosystem of itself. But getting there takes sometimes up to 15 years.
Yeah.
At least we know now that it's capable, that it's possible. And DuckDad wants to, offer that service as well. You might work more, but as you mentioned, it will taper off as you help your customers. Me Too Joy, Save the Penguins. I mean, I'll have to come here first. I think everyone has the right to eat food. Good grief. I think so as well. The thing for me is that is more food wastage right now in the world than there is need for people to eat food. In other words, like there's these people that don't have access to food, and there's more food being wasted than they need to eat. That like boggles my brain. I feel like it's a distribution network thing, right? Like
Yeah.
some of the food doesn't have the infrastructure to reach the places that need it more than anything. And the amount of money that goes into actually establishing that infrastructure, there's no profit going to be made if you're trying to give food away, right? So what's the incentive for people in a capitalist society to do that? Right out of Genesis, how fair of him. Correct, 4-day work week increases productivity. This is also true. People actually end up working harder because they want to get their work done so they can have a proper weekend. Depends who you want to sweat for. Yeah. Simon, American logic is that if a 4-day work week increases productivity, then a 5-day work week increases it more. And no country on this earth has the money or the military power to tell us that we're wrong. Wow, it's an amazing story, Melt. Is it true? I've shared a few stories.
Which one?
I haven't been lying. So, yes, I'm pretty sure the story was true. Maybe I should share another story. I think I shared a little bit of it yesterday, but I want to talk about it again. Ethan's little kid, bro. I realized this weekend the amount of intuition and understanding that little children have. Ethan, one of my friends, the friend who gave me Sky, the drum, his little boy was crying because his mom went dancing a little bit. And usually he's like stuck to mom, 24/7, doesn't leave her side. He slept, so she went to dance a little bit. And then when he woke up, dad was there with him, but mom wasn't. So he started crying. And he didn't want to be consoled by dad, so he brought him to me. And he asked me to help him smile. And I just have a conversation with him, talk to him like a grown person. I'm like, hey, little dude, mom is okay. You'll see her again. Don't worry, And then I tell him, all you have to do for now is breathe in and out. And this little baby follows me as I
The breathing
do
structure. And
as I do
everything.
the breath structures, dude. And seeing his demeanor change, right? Seeing him actually kind of like consolidate. And then Ethan also said something in that moment about how we'll still have a lot of time together. I tell him that I want to have conversations with him one day, right? And seeing this little baby, understand Like it boggles my brain, dude. The level of understanding that little kid has. I'm looking forward to seeing him become like a grown ass person.
Yeah.
Just imagining what kind of conversations he'll be able to have with his perspective, dude. 4-day work week, then flexi time on top. Yeah. Oh my goodness. My brand new way of overpriced piece of shit refrigerator has now decided, after a month, that it doesn't want to be cold anymore. Be right back. I'm going on a rampage. You know, like the fact that it's a refrigerator, like if your, like cell phone has like issues, that's not too much of a hassle to take that
Yeah.
in, bro. But a refrigerator. Oh, dude, I'm guessing it's still on warranty.
Just strap it to your back,
Just
bro.
strap it to your back. Climb, like I'm imagining like it's a basement freezer or something, dude. So you have to like lug it upstairs or something. I am fortunately able to have more opportunities to do what I want because I have manic episodes. I'm pretty normal in between them. But if I didn't have mental illness, I would not have had the time or funds to have my art exhibit.
Mm.
What a what a way to see it, dude. Right? I feel like there's this weird part of me that's like we live in a society where you have to have manic episodes to get some free time. It's like, oh yeah, this one's broken, we can't put them in corporate. Let them have their own time. So stupid. Like every single person deserves that, at least a little bit. Does it need an update? I hope not. Oh, yes
Have you
sir.
tried switching it on and
your
off
your
again?
TV, your freaking refrigerator needs an update, bro. Like, what do you? It needs to keep cold, bro. It needs to run an element. Dog frit issues, fix it. That's hilarious. My hub's company is doing 4 days soon. He works for the state. That's fantastic, actually. Tell us how he, receives that. Or did you run out of your free subscription? I bet that's it. There's probably a recurring charge to keep the box cold. Owning the thing you actually pay for, right? Have you talked to Adam, or is he being squirrely as usual? What do you think, Joy? I love him so much. I actually met other John. Adam has this friend, his best friend. Like that's the way John says. Like Adam is his best friend. Met him there as well. Actually, also met him at White Rabbit the previous time when Adam
Mm.
was there with me. So, like me and Adam walked into him at the same time, and we got to be like super stoked. So he was there. I don't know if he was alone there technically, but yeah. First thing that he asks me is Adam answering your messages? I'm like, no. I'm like, not even the birthday messages I sent him. He's like, yeah, me too, though. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. He's still going online, so he's not dead, which is
Yeah,
heartening to know.
I also sent him birthday wishes and he didn't
That he
respond.
no, also, where would you live in South Africa if you could, John and Melt? Huh. I mean,
Any place we can make a home.
yeah, like, there's so many nice places in South Africa to live, actually. I feel I would probably want to live like closer to there are like some rainforesty areas in South Africa as well.
Mm.
I would love a little bit more
Nature.
nature. Like it's pretty dry here in South Africa for the most part. It's hard to find natural, thick, lush forest kind of
Imagine having a
environments.
fruit tree forest. Like
Dude,
just fruit trees everywhere, man.
what's your favorite fruit, John? What
Hmm.
fruit tree would you want?
Difficult. I like grenadanas and kiwis.
Okay, kiwis. Do kiwis grow on
I
trees?
don't
I think they
know.
grow on like bushes,
Okay,
technically.
then we plant lots of bushes.
I mean, we can stagger, right? So trees and bushes, for the middle
We
part.
make bush trees now.
I'm imagining one of those
Columns
trees,
and
like I don't know if
columns.
you've seen one of those as well, that can have like multiple different fruits growing on the same tree.
You get that?
Yeah, dude.
No way.
I'm serious. Usually they do it with like same family, so like a citrus
So then
tree.
it grows both.
Yeah, so
fruit
so
separately.
dude, not even just
I would
both.
think
Like
that it
I think the most that
makes
they
an
were able to do is like
integration.
16, dude. So it's like kumquats, pumielus,
To me, it's weird how the
narchies, lemons.
fruits themselves don't
mutate.
Yeah,
So
each
it
other.
basically, is like a branch thing, right? Like as soon
Yeah,
as that information like hits the branch, it's just information it's receiving from the tree, or
yeah.
like energy is receiving from the tree, and the information is already coded into its DNA, dude. It's so cool, the fact that we can do stuff like that. So maybe one day, how cool would it be if you can buy like a super seed, you plant that tree. I don't know if it's
Get
possible
all the
to
different.
grow fast, like
Yeah.
I don't know if we have the technology to do that, but as soon as your tree is mature, you have like at least five different, fruits to eat off. Oh no, actual whales, of course. Apparently, good old Indiana used to be a food forest. How about that? Probably got destroyed for corn or something. I shouldn't laugh about that. The only issue people forget about food forests is that they don't have nearly enough nutrients in the soil to just switch over to food production. That is something we can account for, right? Like we
Mm.
have figured out fertilizer, and I feel like it's just a matter of usage probably. Like it's not bad using fertilizer. We're just overdoing it right now a little bit. Dan is here too, sending you lovin's, bro.
There's many different
What the heck
methods.
is a narchi? Weet je wat een narkie is nie?
What do they call them in
Like we call them
English?
narchies. The
Are they not
English.
called tangerines?
Maybe they're called tangerines. It's like a soft skinned citrus fruit. So you can easily skin it with your fingers.
Yeah.
Positive reinforcement, chef, breathing exercises. And you know what the best part is? I feel like I didn't share this actually. After that moment that I shared with Ethan and the little boy, I went to my campsite and we were having conversations with other friends. And the conversation kind of like took a turn again of responsibility, me feeling the responsibility I have towards the world,
Mm.
tripping out about society, and I got myself into this loop of like, and then Mason tells me, just breathe in, breathe out. Literally like seconds after I did the exact
You
same thing
became
for a
that
baby.
little baby.
Exactly, I was the little baby in that moment. That wisdom carries, no matter how old you are. Please don't give babies credit for being fluent in language. I'm not saying he was fluent in language. I said he understood me,
Yeah.
right? He understood what I was saying, or at least the energy
I witnessed
I was
the
conveying.
simultaneous breathing, man.
Dude, like it's kind of trippy. Like it was kind of like psychic vibes as well,
Yeah.
right? Like maybe he didn't even hear a single word I said. Maybe he was just picking up on my brain waves and then listening to my breathing.
Mm.
Oh, my heart, that's so sweet, Mel. Love is true. Dark Rampage. Eat a kiwi like a boiled egg? No. No, not like a
What?
boiled egg. So I eat my kiwis with the skin.
Oh yes, you told me this.
Yeah,
It's very
but
cursed.
now imagining eating my kiwi like a boiled egg. I'm imagining people eating boiled eggs like for shell and all, dude. Like the crunchy it makes it
Yum
nice.
yum.
I mean, you will get calcium, right? So maybe if you're calcium deficient, that might not be a bad idea. But try it, dude.
You
Try
know,
kiwi with the skin. No, it's not good.
you know what could be nice though? If you make boiled eggs, take off the skin, and then you crumb it and deep fry it in like a crumb.
That could actually. I think that dish actually does exist.
Does it?
Yeah.
I do not know about it.
I don't think we do it in South Africa.
But I
We
think
do.
it would be probably in Asia somewhere would be something. They like their eggs.
Like they didn't do that.
Yeah,
At least I didn't see it, but they have an egg that they boil in vinegar, and like
Oh,
dark
pickled.
vinegar.
Is it like?
It's kind of like pickled, dude. And then you get the egg, and it's like brown. Oh, like
I
all of
don't
the
know
white.
if I can.
It's
do that.
not nice.
I
Oh,
don't know if I can.
it's not. And they'll also have like ones that are just like straight up rotten. Oh, where they like
No.
let it like rot, and it has like a fermenty. And I'm like,
Oh
no, thank
no.
you.
Did you know you get an egg mixer that mixes the egg within
Inside
the
the shell, I did, bro.
like evenly, and if you boil it, there's no separation between the yolk and the whites. It's just one.
I knew about that one, but I forgot that
Solid
people
the
actually
whole
boil
time.
it that way, dude.
Yeah.
Would you do that?
Maybe because sometimes with boiled eggs, you never know it when
When
you
your
bite
yellow is
in, and it's
yeah.
gonna like, you know.
Like for me, I like my yellow just enough to be pliable, right?
Yeah.
And if it's like chalky, I'm like, nah. If it's like too runny, I'm like, nah. And getting it at that sweet spot is so hard. I feel like again, like the other side of it, just having like a uniform, like off white or off yellow in an egg like
Yes,
that,
that is
that
what it's
somehow
gonna be.
bothers me more. I don't
The
know
off
why.
yellow tint.
Because like I enjoy egg, but if I'm like doing scrambling, for example, it needs to be aromated like on those little granules, right? So do you like put aromat on the outside, like all of that thickness? I'm tripping myself out too much about it. Let's put it that. I don't have to know everything, right? Fruit should not feel like punishment in your mouth. What the fuck, you guys? I mean,
Oh, because of the
kiwi,
skin, bro.
kiwi is not punishment. I love it. Seriously, it's a better experience for me. I do it with pineapple as well
No,
now.
bro.
You have to slice it thin.
I
though.
told you we're gonna have to discuss boundaries if you eat pineapples with skin in front of me, man.
I'll show you what it looks like, dude. I'll even give you a taste. It's not that bad, bro. It's all that fiber you're getting that is good for you. I
No.
promise. Melt loves to eat whole pineapple. Yeah, it's true.
Let me hop some of these leaves, those stingy leaves
The-
at the top, bro.
Like for me, it's more the small ones, like the little dry ones on the outside that
Yeah.
bother me.
Oh.
The big ones aren't. I take those off at least. I'm afraid I must bid you adieu for a super early morning thing. I'm sure going to miss hanging out, but I hope to talk to you all again soon. Remember, you are loved and you are worthy. As are you, dear Kristen. Thank you for joining us, friend, for even a moment. We'll see you again soon. Have a beautiful day. Love is true. Are you okay, Dan? Let's see if he lets us know. I'm not seeing him reply any. I didn't say please. I said people. People don't give babies credit for being fluent in language. Yeah, you were right. Hey, Kate! There's Kate. Seeing you, friend. Sending you lovin's. You're right. I feel like babies do understand more than we give them credit for. And it's one
Yeah.
of those things where we probably do it as like an insecurity, right? Where if you have to admit that your baby is way more aware than you're giving it credit for, suddenly you can't do a bunch of things. You have to be even more responsible. And people don't want to. Did you get your pretty eyes from your mom or your dad? From his mom, I think, right? You do have your mom's.
Yeah, I
Like-
think my mom has the same green eyes, yeah.
Scotch eggs. Do you have siblings?
Yes, one half brother. You will see him tomorrow.
Cool, cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, he's 12 years younger than me, though.
Oh, he's the one who sent you photos of his character
Yeah.
the weekend.
Yeah, so when I'm 30, he's gonna be 18. Yeah.
When I am 27, my sister's gonna be 18.
Okay.
Is it?
So it's 9 years.
No, 8 years actually.
8.
8 years younger than
Okay.
me, yeah. The fact that she's almost finishing high school is also tripping me out, bro. All of my parents' kids are gonna be done soon. Sometimes when my dog is going mental, I can breathe, moving my hand up and down with my breathing, and she copies me and calms down. Like
I
I've
do
never been
think
able to do
there's
this
a-
with dogs
I
actually.
do think there's a natural instinct where people's heartbeats and breathing
Oh, yeah.
matches up to their
Even like
people in their
walking
surroundings
cadence,
as
dude.
well. Yeah.
Like if you walk next to each other, you're spending a lot of time, you'll start walking in step.
yeah.
Dan and late, hello Zano. Thank you for saying hi to our friend Shell. There is a global shortage for phosphorus. Nitrogen is easier to figure out. Exactly. Phosphorus.
They must just go to the festivals. Lots of
Like,
phosphorus.
that's literally what I'm thinking about right now, dude. But I'm thinking, isn't it like just sulfur?
Yeah. I don't know.
Hey Google, what are sources of phosphorus?
Oh, pick up sources.
Red meat. We don't want to get it from our red meats. In nature. Let me add some more context. So yeah, You were right, actually, dude. We can get it from waterfowl waste,
Yeah.
atmospheric decomposition, weathering of geologic, a phosphate mineral material, and plant decomposition.
Mm.
Or they can be human induced, such as fertilizer, pet waste, agriculture, or urban runoff industry. I mean, for the longest time, I feel like this is also something that became taboo in our society. For the longest time, people used to fertilize their fields with their own poop, dude.
I didn't even know
I'm
that.
serious, dude, because like that, it was like this is resources that the plants can use that we no longer can, and then people got, and you have to wash your food, obviously.
I do think you're in a serious situation if you step in your own poop. Like, who do you blame? Like, usually you could be like, ah, these dogs.
Boys' fingers. Eggs are very personal.
Oh,
What? Eggs are very personal. Processed pork wrapped around the egg. Yes, please. What's happening? Have you heard of balut? It's a Philippine food. It's fermented, half developed duck egg. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. So
no.
they let the baby like actually start forming, and then
No.
they ferment it. Oh.
No. But why?
I don't know. Like, dude, seeing like just seeing it, right? Like some foods might not taste great. Like for
Yeah.
instance, durian. Durian is kind of beautiful. Have you do you know what a durian is?
No.
Hey Google, show me a durian fruit. Like look at that. It doesn't look that appetizing, but like it has
Looks
like
like
a
lungs.
yeah, it has like a fleshiness to it. Right? That's what the durian looks like. And it's beautiful to me aesthetically. And it feels nice. It has like a almost like again fleshy like texture to it. But the smell, dude.
Mm-mm.
Bruh. Like close your ears if you don't want to hear this. It's like baby poop, bro. It's like you don't have the microbiome to properly process food yet. Baby poop smell, dude. And I'm like, bro. You walk into one of the offices because when I was in China, they would eat it in the like communal kitchen space, bro. You walk into that office and you're like, it's like you stop in your
Bruh.
tracks, dude. You're like, what's happening? It's like, look at the floor, you're not stepping anything. And I
Yeah.
couldn't get myself to eat that. I could eat seals, not seals, eels, eels, not without the s, little eels, you know. And you could see the little
Save the
faces,
seals.
and you could feel the little bones crunching. But it would taste, it would taste nice at least. The way those eggs looked, dude, it looked like a straight up horror scene. I was like, no, no, thank you.
But those fermented duck eggs reminds me. My one friend Max once made us breakfast and he's busy making us eggs. And then the one that he made for him, just a half-developed chicken fell out of the shell,
Oh,
bro.
dude, that's trauma, bro.
And then he didn't eat eggs
Ah,
after
yeah, you
that
see,
for like years.
literally got traumatized, dude. Is this also the wonderful place that eats deep fried scorpion? I'd eat deep fried scorpion.
No.
I scorpion. I wouldn't. I mean, insects aren't that hectic, dude.
Bro.
Insects aren't that hectic. Like for instance, and I've shared this with you friends as well. I would 100% be okay with eating more insect protein, right? Because technically, it's just mush. Like it used to be insects, and now it's powder. And then you put that powder in your bread, and now suddenly you have protein bread. Still tastes like bread. You can still toast it and put some apple on it, but now it has 20% more protein in it, right? And you can literally stack like cases on top of each other. You can feed those insects like food waste, so there's like an extra level of rejuvenation there. It's again like my mind going to like Silverpunk, dude. How do we generate protein when you're in the middle of nowhere by yourself? Eat some insects. Oh. We used to eat insects a lot. Like for instance, our primate ancestors chomp insects. They love it. I put stream on TV. Quick, we're on TV right now, dude. Go tell your Gma you finally made it and you're on TV in America. You can literally say that now, dude. I mean, he has people, already repping him as well, trying to encourage him to be there, performing on stage next year
Yeah.
in his pajamas and everything. I put loved again to UK. Thank you for blessing our friends. 100% melt. And how beautiful that you knew intuitively and got to have that experience rather than speaking gibberish and getting confusion in response. Like Ethan also talks to his son with like a certain level of maturity. Like I met so there was Luke who had a daughter about 2 years ago now, And since he had his daughter, he was completely out of the scene. And I got to meet him there again. And then Ethan as well. And just seeing how they have become dads, you know, in their way of like thinking about the world and the way they show up and the things that they kind of like go through in their own minds. And just learning from them as, you know, proper like dad characters. Wondering what my life would be like if I had dads like that. Learning actively. I don't have to know everything, but I can learn. That's so funny because the first thing I thought of was a pile of purple phosphorus and pouring liquid glycerin on it and watching the reaction. Oh yes, I've actually done that as well.
Uh,
It's like a powder of these small little granules, and then you put
mhm.
glycerin on it, and then it basically combusts. It ignites, makes a bunch of smoke. Zano, Lovins, that critter connection. I used to play lullabies to my old pup while she dozed off. Your comment brought back those memories. She is forever a part of me. The fact that you're saying that, Jovan, actually reminded me of a friend that made me think about you that had like a tattoo of, I don't know what it was, could have been a parakeet, could have been a parrot, but like the two little parrot feet on his shoulder, you know, and I assumed that maybe he lost his parrot and had the little feetsies tattooed on him. Forever a part of our lives, right? It's called Humanure. There we go. Mammy, so much lovin's. It's nice having you, Mammy Machete. I don't think I've seen your username before, but I'm seeing you now. Blessings to you, friend. Who decided to put vinegar and eggs together?
Yes.
Yes, I think you know probably a few people. I've done like balsamic vinegar, where you can dip your egg in some balsamic vinegar, but not
Lay
soak
it
it
in
through.
there, like.
Like that, your white is like brown, dude. Like even, and dude, you would like see these like big bowls with these eggs that are boiling in there, and like in my mind, they probably are new eggs, but because of that process, it looks like it's like 1,000 years old egg. And I'm like, bro, eat that thing, you'll drop dead. Babies pick up language throughout osmosis. It is absolutely incredible the difference between my daughter that stayed at home with me during the pandemic and kids, unless parents inclusive, and kids in less parent inclusive situations. The formative years, right? That's what they call it. The first 6 years of your life are your formative years. It's basically like creating like the blueprint for what you'll believe about the rest of your life. You can change it. It's just gonna be really freaking hard. And we don't think about that because we believe erroneously, because you might not remember a bunch of the stuff that you experienced as a baby, for example. But that doesn't matter, right? You don't have to know that information to know that it affects you still. I'll eat anything except cat and dog. Everything else I'll try at once. I really, really like fermented foods. I mean, kimchi. I'm a big fan of kimchi. I'm a big fan of what other fermented foods do we eat? Like yogurt, technically, is a fermented food.
Cheese?
Kombucha is like a
Is
fermented.
cheese not
Yeah, I
technically?
think certain cheeses are technically fermented as well in one way
Mm.
before they're cured. We don't have many of them. I'm thinking about like a dish that's called like saho, I want to call it, or something. It's like beans, these like small little granule beans that get like super sticky. They're also fermented. We don't really do those in South Africa that much. Her language skills are equivalent of a 6-year-old. I don't know how old she is. Isn't she a 6-year-old or a 5-year-old right now? Sam, I was with your thoughts already. We thought about yeah. How long has vinegar been used as a preservative? I feel what we probably figured out is we tried to make wine and then we overdid it and then we're like, wow, this new liquid that we made, you know, it doesn't go any worse. It's just now this liquid and it stays this liquid almost indefinitely. And then we probably figured out that we could kind of like cure things in it. Shelly, I am on the grocery store route. I'm going to pick up ingredients to make fermented sugar rush peach hot sauce. That does actually sound pretty
I
nice.
don't know about that.
You don't think that sounds nice?
No, but you think
Yeah,
lots of things sound nice.
you don't like hot sauce as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like hot sauce. So I'm imagining like the kind of like umami. I don't know if umami. Like the same that bottom flavor of that vape, right? Like this mango flavor we have right now is one of the most authentic mango flavors that we've had because you get that sweetness of the mango at first, and then that after flavor, that
Leafy,
fermenty.
yeah, that.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it actually,
Yeah.
but I think that flavor, being added to like the peaches sweetness into like a chili sauce, that in my mind would work. You'll let us know, I'm sure. How long do you plan on fermenting it for? Is the question. Vinegar with
Have you
spices is
seen
good
people
for.
make the mango chicken, where they prepare the chicken with the mango and it has that sweetness?
I haven't actually, dude.
It's divine.
Where did you get
Very
it?
sticky. My gran has made it once, but
Oh.
also Martin's mom likes
Also
to make-
cooks it.
Yeah.
I've like never actually had that.
Yeah.
I'm curious about how many food dishes people almost like cook only for themselves that other people haven't even heard about, dude.
Yeah.
Like there's probably like 1,000 of them, even more. My mom tried for the first time last year and gave out jars of pickled peppers for Christmas. Nice. I have 4 jars of massive pickles in my fridge. I do enjoy a pickle every now and then. I have an imprint of. She does as well? I have an imprint of Xanderberg's feet, and I fully intend to get those feetsies tattooed on my arm where he used to sit. So she wants to do the same thing. That's so wholesome, Jean. I make kombucha and beer too. Nice. My sister also is making kombucha. I really actually enjoy it. I had some water kefir this weekend as well. That's so dope. What kind of beer do you make? I'm also curious. There you go. She also mentioned kefir. There we go. Don't need a fridge. If you learn to pickle, true. Sam, it's the Babylonians. They documented using vinegar 5000 BC when Ra was a baby. If you like yogurt, try kefir. I chug it every night and it makes my tummy happy. Good old, microbiome helping like fermented information almost. Gives your body the stuff that it already tries to make itself. I had a hard time eating eggs for about 6 months after I had to humanely and end and one of my duck's life due to injury. Yeah, probably end. I saw this video of a person trying to take an egg from a chicken, and then like the chicken like tries to push the egg back underneath herself, and then he takes out like a bunch of corn granules, and then he feeds the chicken, and then he tries to take the egg again, and the chicken doesn't fight him, bro. Like no resistance. So maybe there should be like a trade. I feel like eggs are one of those things where it's like this individually packaged little unit of food, Like I eat a lot of eggs, John. Like copious amounts of eggs. I'm probably more egg than anything else, dude. If you are what you eat, I feel like it's one of those protein sources that are so easy to cook, clean in a weird way as
And
well.
there's many different ways you can cook it.
Oh
and
yes,
prepare it as
exactly,
well.
dude.
So
You can mix it up. Oh man, I'm gonna get cold out here a little
it
bit
is
actually.
getting cold.
Of course, it was them. Fellow beer brewers unite. The last beer I made was a blueberry beer. Now that's cooking. Now what's cooking is Cerveza. Cerveza. Can't spell it. The last one is coming
Cerveza.
out. Too sweet. My family will like it.
Cerveza.
I don't know what
Spanish.
You know what that is?
Spanish word for beer.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's like a Spanish style kind of vibe. When will it be done? Blueberry beer? Yes, please. I'm also kind of down for a blueberry beer. The blueberry one it was gone so fast, I can imagine. 11:11. Thank you, Shan. Sounds delicious. Best fried egg sandwich I've ever had was a duck egg. The more you know. I don't think I've ever had duck egg myself. I'm gonna go get my cards quickly. Then we'll pull a card to finish today's stream. I'll be back in a second. It's all you, bro. It's your show now.
Put me in
Yeah,
this spot now.
You don't have to know how to do it, bro. You'll have to learn. I'll try to be quick.
Good day, guys. We actually also got to speak to quite a few people that we want to do business with.
Your friends will probably hear me somewhere in the
Especially
back.
the people who did the decor for the stages and the stuff, like working in tandem with them, because the one guy actually has the industrial printer and prints these gigantic stretch material for decor. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, he said he would definitely like to see what we can
I had some
come up with
conversations
together.
with other members of the crew as well, dude. And as I was like talking about what we want to do, he was like trying to get me to be where I am right now before I try, right? And I'm like, it's like, so, you know, if you want to do this, maybe try getting good at, you know, making things and, you know, share it with people, see if they actually like it as well. I'm like, you don't even know. Yeah, we're showing our friends. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing. You don't have to know everything to actually know some things, right? To get there slowly but surely. Dark eggs are so rich, the yolk is like orange. Sam, the one I'm brewing right now, should be already done, but it's too sweet, so I feel like I could have left it longer. I might eat up more of the sugars. I mean, the more of the sugars it eats, the more alcohol content, right? So it's a ratio of like how drunk do you want to get drinking your beer. Bye all. Enjoy the rest of your day slash evening. Love to you, Nancy. Thank you for blessing us with your presence. Tell me to stop, John.
Stop.
How about that, dude? Together we fly. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck. It's so beautiful. We were talking about
The
burps today.
fractal of the trees into each
Yes.
other as well.
The background pattern shining through. Together we fly. Little burbies, human beings, dragonflies, and plants over the landscape.
Plants, as we've been speaking about the fruit forests
Yeah, dude.
and everything.
It looks like they're flying into a fruit forest right now. You see, this wind
Is
is,
icy.
is cutting through my bones. Red, opposite of green, technically. See, you have been switching, you know, channels maybe as of late, Zana. Have a beautiful day. Fly, together we fly. Awesome. This is one of my favorite cards, dude. It has such a beautiful meaning as well. Let's go. Oh my goodness. Look at what the core meaning is, dude. We mentioned this word multiple times, even in stream, growth, right? That if you knew everything, you would not have any reason, any direction to grow into. Embedded within this card is beautiful geometry that was created by the crop circle makers in Great Britain in 2005. It is reminiscent of ancient stone glyphs and suggests a code that, if carefully calibrated, may unlock potential and accelerate growth. The magical couple holds hands as they take wing and soar above a lush, green, tropical environment. Growth is all around them, embracing and nourishing their shared vision of expansive freedom within sacred union. By joining together in this freedom flight, they amplify their individual potentials and grow beyond the bounds of conventional relationship to a place of resonance with all of creation. Two hawks act as guides in this flight and as far-sighted awareness. The dragonfly reminds them not to get caught up in illusion. This card asks you to expand your vision of personal power. Envision yourself unlocking your own capacity for growth and then reach beyond yourself to touch the ones you love. It further asks you to allow your relationships to flourish and to grow in their own manner and to celebrate the potential for mutual growth and shared freedom. Love is true. Even Gateway. Hey Jules. Just made it to say hi. We love yous. We'll wait for our Shan message and then we'll finish today's stream. Getting to be here right now. I don't know what the Shan message is gonna be, but I know there will be one. We'll give it a moment. Gateway, so much love is being sent. You know what's the worst part, dude? Even though I've shared today's stream topic, I still want to know everything, dude. I still do. I still want to know everything.
Yeah. But on the way here, I told you maybe we intentionally.
Yeah, like that's what he asked me. Like maybe when we incarnate into this life, we choose to forget a vast set of information,
Yeah.
and I believe that. Like if you didn't,
So we can learn base level lessons that you would
exactly.
not be able to learn if you have all the information.
Like if you completely and fully understood your own godness, right? There's nothing scary about dying as this body. And then if you die right now, the lesson you were supposed to learn as a human, having a conversation with another human in 5 years, is lost to you.
Because the other fractal of that is like these are lessons that we can only learn as
Yeah,
humans, because
exactly.
if you do have all the information and everything, then you lose the humanity. That is literally what humanity
It's
is
like
all
a
about.
it's like a dimensional thing
Yes,
almost.
because so many little things become so unimportant.
Like I'm thinking about creating like a cool line to end today's stream off with, where you already knew everything, and you decided to forget everything because you wanted to know John, right?
Yeah.
You wanted to know what it's like to be you, as this version of you that only knows what it's like to be you. Stay safe, stay cool, everyone. Of course, Simon. Your call is very important to us. Yes, it is. The opposite of that is that there is always new information to consume, which comforts me. It comforts me too, right? But it also like I wish there was like a way, right, to maybe like AI could help with that, to educate you in a way like all of the things that you need to know. For instance, right, if you could know all of the things we needed to know, like the people we needed to contact, the spaces
Yeah.
we needed to get into, like it would be very easy starting a business in that way.
Yeah.
And it's like maybe like that's what I want. I want it to be easy. Maybe it's like the lazy part of myself that's
I
kicking and
think
screaming.
it's meant to be interpersonal, that you meet people through the right spaces in the right time in the right places, because otherwise,
Like the people he mentions as well, the people we want to work with are the ones doing, the stuff that we want to do already. And the amount of professionalism and like the level of seriousness that they actually apply to their work, it really is a blessing seeing it. Love to you all from northern UK and avoid pickled eggs. Love to you, Simon. Blessings, Brother Bear. Here's our Shan message. I'm gonna give it a few more seconds. See if we get the second one coming. In a 10 and a 9 and an 8. There it is. Have the most beautifulest day. One. I wholeheartedly love you all. So, very super duper, mega immensely, massively gargantuanly, galactically, astronomically dearly. Melt, John, and all of you, oh so very, absolutely, amazingly, fiercely, flabbergastingly, fantastically, smashingly, invigoratingly, miraculously, gorgeously, beamingly, magically, magical, divine friends that know what they need to. As we love you. As we know. We love you, dear Shan, dear Joe, Jules. Thank you for joining me once again. Consciously evolving, right? Reminding ourselves that we don't have to know everything. And that's a good thing. And maybe we did at one point know everything. And we opted out of knowing everything so that we can know each other. Sending you friends lovins. Shan would be ace at Scrabble. Absolute slayer. Sending you friends so much lovins. Until we do this again tomorrow.